cutting off most of your friends for personal success. So this question is, I'm in my final year of high school and I've come to a bit of a dilemma. I've been getting extremely stressed with friends in school. My grades aren't awful, but I doubt I could get into a good post-secondary school with them. I'm assuming you live in Europe. Um, I have more stress packed on with friends. Some of these friends are good. They're not bad. They're an all right influence, but others are terrible. But I've known them for a long time. Um, they're manipulative, use me for their own benefit. And while I have no problem cutting off the toxic ones, the problem is they're all tight with most of my other friends. So cutting them off could also hurt some of my other relationships. On top of that, most of my friends are in a majority of my classes, so it'd be difficult to shrug them off. I don't know what to do here. I have other companionship, like a girl who I'm talking to, which is heading in the direction of a relationship, but I can't see it being truly a long term thing. I do know some people who are more school oriented that I could talk to as well. What should I do? Risk my social life and focus on school? To be completely honest, if anyone has had an experience like this, I'd be extremely grateful if they could tell me what they did and how they currently feel about life. I'm just lost and don't want to make the wrong mistake. Okay, I have had an experience like this. Um, Not necessarily in school, though. I kind of wish that I did because this is a lesson that I wanted to learn earlier in life, and no one was really there to teach me it. Um, you are the equivalent of the five closest people you spend your time with. So if the people you're surrounding yourself with don't look like where you want to be in life or where you want to head in life, like if they're not heading in the direction you want to head to, if they're not successful, if they're, and when I say successful, I don't mean money, but goals, emotionally, things of that nature, you need to get rid of them. And the question is, well, how do you do that? Like you said, they're close with other people. I've had that situation. It's tough. It's really, really tough. Since you're in high school, this might be easier than if you were in college or if you were in the workforce. And the reason I say that is because I doubt all of your friends or all the people who are friends with you right now are all going to the same post secondary school. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me, but I haven't heard anywhere where that ends up being the case. Most often than not, even in general, when you're good friends with everyone in your high school, like I had a very tight knit group of friends in high school. I love all those people dearly. However, we just drifted apart. We ended up doing different things, going after different pursuits. I only talk with one of them regularly, and another one's my cousin, so I see him regularly. But other than that, there's like five or six other people, at least, who I was really close with, whom I no longer talk to. And that just happened naturally. That wasn't a fact of these people are toxic, I need to cut them out. Mine happened later in life, and I kind of had the benefit of a move, but I had one friend that was very toxic and very jealous of his other friend's success and constantly picking fights, physical and otherwise, constantly moping about things and trying to make it like everyone was out to get him. And it was very heavy to be around. And it was weighing me down. The problem is he was friends with all of these other friends that I was with, and so it was tough to back off of that. So it had to be done carefully. I just slowly just started seeing that friend less and less and less and less, and tried to force it to be natural. Now sometimes that works. In the case of this friend, he is very paranoid and self-conscious, so he caught on to it pretty quickly. I don't I'm still on good terms with the friend group that he's with, and even though they all complain about him and they all talk like they don't like him, they still all hang around him a lot, and I'm not really invited to those hangouts anymore. But you know what? What I realize is that most of them just want to play video games most of the time, which is fine. Um, well, it's not fine, but it's fine to want to play video games sometimes, do that in your free time. But when you don't really have any goals apart from that, that's not going to be helpful for you to surround yourself with those people all the time. So I can't exactly be heartbroken about how that situation went. And I think if you analyze the friends that those toxic people are tight with, so the people who you say are good friends but are close with the toxic people, I really want you to analyze those good ones that you think will be harmed by cutting out the toxic friends. Are they are they going places in life where you want to go? If they aren't, then it's not a huge loss. And if they are good friends, they should be able to still be friends with you and friends with them. Is this is this something you could talk about with any of them? Do some of the other good friends have problems with these toxic friends, but they're just kind of putting up with it because, social circle reasons? A lot of people do that. Maybe you can put out the feelers for that. But the big thing I want you to take away is making sacrifices for your social life, not good. Not good at all, unless that you're trying to get into a social circle that elevates your life. And what I mean by that is like, you want to get into a mastermind group of successful people that are entrepreneurs or something like that. You name it. Think of the type of people you want to be around in life, and picture those people. That's a sacrifice for a social circle you can make. But in general, no, you need to focus on yourself, or else you will live an unfulfilled life. And coming from a person that's much older than you, I've seen the effects of people living an unfulfilled life. I've seen the effects of people who couldn't break out of the high school social circle mentality. I've seen the effects of people who just lived for the weekends and didn't have any major goals, and then woke up one day and was like, oh, I'm an adult. What do I do now? And having this massive existential crisis, a massive midlife crisis that cripples them. They destroy their relationships. Do you want that? I don't think you do. So I really want you to think about what it is you want your life to look like. And I really want you to figure out, which one of these friends is really worth it. Okay? As far as the relationship goes, doesn't need to be long term. Accept the fact that it'll be short term. You can still get some benefit out of it, and there's nothing wrong with short term companionship. Just don't let it dominate your life, and don't let it get in the way of your goals and your pursuits. I really have to commend you for having so much foresight at the age you're at, because most people don't. I sure didn't. And that's going to set you ahead of most people, but don't take that for granted and don't wait. Yes, you have your whole life ahead of you. And yes, some people don't get going into their late 20s, sometimes their 30s. But if you start to get going now, if you start getting your life in order now, it feels a lot better to be successful at 25 than it does 35. That's got to be your choice. Anyways, if you have any questions or revelations, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to help. Be good to yourself.